Welcome back to One Soccer, my friends. It's been a very, very busy yet exciting World Cup. We have a massive, massive match coming up. Canada versus Morocco, a rematch of 2022. And this match is, of course, of epic proportions. Now, we had to get someone, a very special someone who is really the only fitting pundit to talk about Canada versus Morocco. Can we please welcome the legend, the one and only, Josh Deming. He's back.
I forgot how to work this. Is this on? How's it going?
It's on. Josh, man, how are you, bro? It's been a very, very long time. How are you doing, man? It's so nice to see your beautiful, beautiful face.
I'm doing good. I've been hiding a lot of thoughts inside of me, waiting to speak. So I appreciate you letting me come on here, giving me a mic, and talking about what was a very special run so far.
Brother, I'm so excited to chat with you, man. I'm sure even though you haven't been making too much content, you've been very, very busy. You have a family. You just had a newborn baby, which, of course, I think all of us should say congratulations. Josh is a family man now, but yes, I'm sure you've been watching in the background. What are your thoughts so far on the World Cup, and what are your thoughts on this Canadian run, this historic run by Canada? We're in the round of 16 playing Morocco.
I mean, it's crazy. I remember covering my first watch along against the Cayman Islands back in 2020. We had to qualify at that point, go through Bermuda, Cayman Islands, then Suriname, Haiti to go to the octagonal. We then won that and then went to the 22 World Cup, where I think we had unfortunately some humble pie, and part of that was also from Morocco. So to see where this national team has come, and the players that just keep developing, getting better, like we look good. It hasn't always been perfect, this run. The South Africa game wasn't the most appealing thing, but at the end of the day, in knockouts, all that matters is winning. And Stephen Eustachio finds a moment of Canadian history, scores a goal. I was sitting right here in my home with my little boy Ryder, and I had to jump up and down and be very careful not to rock his little head. But it's just special. Like if you would have looked at me back when I was covering that Cayman Island match and said, hey, at the 2026 World Cup that you guys will be co-hosting, you're going to make it farther than the Netherlands, then Germany, then Italy,
Ecuador too. Yesterday. Oh my gosh, man!
I wouldn't have.
Mexico. Absolutely cooking Ecuador yesterday. That was a sight to see. And I'm sure you know, remember how we tied Ecuador with 10 men with Ali Ahmed was sent off not long ago, right? So, yeah. But Mexico looked really, really good yesterday. Now, obviously, the lineups from 2022 and for 2026 are vastly different now for the Canadian men's national team. There's been some player turnover, of course. The team has gotten younger. The team has gotten a little bit better. But which players so far have really impressed you the most in this entire campaign leading up to the World Cup? Then obviously the team selection and during the World Cup. Like who do you think have been the standouts so far?
I mean, there's the obvious ones: Stephen Eustachio, Jonathan David, like Tejan. But I think Luc Pujol deserves a ton of credit to come in and put up the performance he is doing at his age. It was expected that obviously Cornelius Bombito would be the starters if healthy, but with Bombito going through injury, having a kid like that come up, I wasn't fully sure if he was going to be the guy to start these games at a World Cup, but he's looked composed, he's looked mature. I'm extremely happy for him. I think he's got a bright future. And of course, I'm going to shout him out, but Promise David, my guy, it's so cool. Again,
the legend.
I was at my work, and the games have been on, and when Promise David scored, I was like, I interviewed that guy when he was in Estonia.
Right? So little story time for everybody. Little story time. Now, I've been hyping up Promise David for quite a while, okay? You were hyping him up way before I was even hyping him up, guys. Like, Josh is the real deal when it comes to Promise David. Give us a little bit more about Promise David, man. Like, you've been talking about him for what seems like forever now. Like, no one knew who Promise David was until you started talking about him.
Yeah, but when I used to run my Canadians Abroad series, I like to just find little niche stories of Canadians that are maybe in some lower leagues. And Promise David kind of came to my attention because he was over a goal a game in Estonia. And then I watched some highlights, and he just looks like a freak of nature. His running, his pace, the way he can finish. And I was like, this guy looks special. And I saw a little clip of an interview of him, and he just has this personality around him, this just electric, like, embrace. Like he's just someone that I love to talk to. So I reached out to him and said, would you be interested in an interview? And he jumped right on it, and he came on, and he was
I
a little,
remember that.
little fidgety, a little excited. He was pumped, but he gave an unbelievable, genuine interview. And it's no shock to me seeing him, like lots of different interviews from him from the World Cup and seeing his personality come through. And I just knew at the time, like, if he would have made it to the national team, that he would be loved in the dressing room. But at the time, he told me like he was kind of contemplating Canada, Nigeria, but his heart was in Canada, and he just kind of needed that big move. And I was at the time fortunate enough to be able to break the news that he was going to Union Saint-Gilloise, where he's obviously gone on to do some incredible things there. So I've got a really soft spot in my heart, and to see him go to a World Cup and score a goal and do what he's been doing, I'm so happy, and I'd love to catch up with him again if I can.
He's got such like a unique profile. You know what I mean? Like, we've never seen a player like Promise David for the Canadian men's national team ever. He's tall, he's very, very fit, he's strong, he's a super good finisher, but he also has some pace to him. It really, that goal that he scored for Royal Union Saint-Gilloise, when he was tugged on and his shirt was being ripped apart, and he still managed to get through two defenders and then slide the ball past the goalkeeper. I think that could have been like the turning point to kind of think, wow, this player plays for Canada. Like, who is going to stop this absolute machine?
Because it speaks to what he likes to do, and he likes to score goals. And when he was getting dragged down in that goal, he could have went down, he could have drew a foul. He didn't care. He's that strong, he's that fast. He pushed off the defenders. He's like, I'm scoring this goal. And then of course he goes in with the celebrations that we know he can do. But yeah, he's a special guy. He's a funny guy.
Yeah,
and he's been one of my favorite storylines to see this World Cup so far.
Personality times 1,000 with Promise David. It's just like,
oh, yeah,
so likable, right? Like, this entire Canadian men's national team is just extremely likable. There's not a single player that you kind of go, like, everyone is in love with every single player, from the third goalkeeper in Owen Goodman to Promise David to Nico Sigger, and we can go on and on and on. Now, I want to turn the page a little bit, and I really want to talk about what's up next on Saturday, and that is the rematch of 2022, Morocco. Morocco in 2022 were ranked 22nd in the world. Canada was ranked 40th in the world. Now Morocco has taken an extra kind of leap forward. Canada did as well. We've improved on our ranking. We're 27th or 30th now. I think it's 27th now. And Morocco has jumped into the top 10, the top 6 there. They've become really a massive footballing powerhouse, and the powerhouse of football in Africa. So what do you think we kind of learned from the last time we played Morocco, and in comparison to now? How have they improved, and what are their really unique strengths going into this match?
Well, back in 2022, they were a very counterattacking side. I think that run surprised them to see how good they were, but that's the way that they wanted to play and use their strengths. But in those 4 years, they've developed a ton of really talented players. They got some important dual nationals as well, something we know all about. And they don't really rely as much on counterattacking. They have creativity. They like holding the ball. They're very disciplined defensively. So they don't have a ton of weaknesses, but they're going to look a little bit different than the counterattacking team that we played back in 2022. I think that they're going to look for creativity from Diaz, of course, the attacking runs, trying to open up space from Hakimi. And they have a new finisher up front, and Sabari, who's had quite the tournament so far. And it's going to be pretty interesting to see how Canada kind of lines up to them, because Jesse Marsh loves to press. They're very energetic. And I don't know how that high pressing will do against a team like Morocco, because if they play through us, there's going to be a ton of open space, and it can turn into a bit of a track meet. So I'm curious to see how Jesse wants to approach it, if he wants to take it easy and allow Morocco to maybe have some more of the ball, which he's not always comfortable doing, or if he's just going to go toe to toe, because if Canada's going to find success here, it's going to be causing turnovers, causing problems in the midfield, and attacking the flanks, where maybe Hakimi goes up and leaves some space behind.
Yeah, maybe playing some counter-attacking football. And I think you touched on a very, very important point. Everyone is kind of thinking, how will Jesse Marsh approach this game against Morocco? Now, some are, of course, saying that Jesse Marsh is reluctant to switch from his 4-4-2, but some are saying maybe Jesse Marsh should go with 5 in the back. Maybe we should play 3 midfielders and just play Jonathan David up top as a single striker, which we haven't seen from Jesse Marsh. Now, if you were Jesse Marsh and if you were the manager of this team, I'm going to throw this out there for you. How would you play and how would you line up against this Morocco side? We saw how much of ball possession they held against the Netherlands. You can see how clearly attack-minded they were. They were always pushing forward, always pushing the pace, always pushing the game. So if you were Jesse Marsch, how do you line up? What is your formation, and who plays where for you?
I just don't see him switching from the 4-4-2. So
Same.
I don't think I would want him to, but I think he just needs to be tactical in the way that he wants to approach this game. He's going to have to press Morocco's young midfield. He's going to try to have to cause turnovers. I think that's one of the most important things, but he's got to be very careful how he does it. We don't want to get players out of position because that's where Morocco will definitely hurt us. And I mean, honestly, we have a ton of fast players on the flank. So when Morocco attacks us and Hakimi gets forward and Diaz cuts in, there's going to be space there. So it may be uncomfortable, but I would still stick with the 4-4-2. I'd play a little bit defensively, but look for those opportunities to cause turnovers and hopefully be able to break. And for the starting 11, I mean,
it's hard, right? It's
hard
to choose, man. Do you go with Bombito and Luc de Fougerolles as your two starting center backs? Does Derek Cornelius fit the bill? Does he come in for Moise Bombito? Because I don't think Moise Bombito can go 90 minutes. When does Alphonso Davies come back into the picture? Of course, he's going to play, but he does have a time limit, obviously some time management for him. Some are saying it's 15 minutes. Some are saying it's half an hour. I don't think he comes on even at half. But then, of course, because it's a knockout round, you have to consider if it's a close game, this game could go an extra 30 into extra time, possibly even penalties. So there is a situation where you could have Alphonso Davies come in the second half, but then again be substituted off maybe in the first half of extra time, or maybe before extra time even begins. There are so many different question marks of how to approach this game. Of course, missing Ismail Kone in the midfield is also quite a big blow, because he is one of our strongest and best midfielders that can really drive the ball forward and create that kind of space, shoot the ball out to the flanks, maybe even take a shot. We don't have him, right? So there, like I said, there's so many different question marks about what will happen. How will Jesse Marsch approach it? So if you could give us what you think, where are Canada's strengths in this? Like how do we manage the players like Moise Bombito and Alphonso Davies, and where do they come into play here?
I think Crepeau will be in net. The four at the back, I think he'll start with Johnston, Bombito, Cornelius, Larea, and then whenever Bombito can go, in comes de Fougerolles. It obviously it depends on what he can do. I'm guessing 60 or so. That's my guess. And then in comes de Fougerolles after that. It's not always like it's kind of rare to see center backs change in a knockout game like this. It's not ideally what you want to do, but with someone like Bombito, you're going to want to start him, get as much as you can out of him, and then switch it up, because de Fougerolles has proven that he can do it. In the midfield, Buchanan, Eustachios, Saliba, and then I'd go with Liam Miller. I think that, like I mentioned, the opportunities for Canada will be probably causing turnovers, hitting on the break. Liam Miller has got a great delivery on him. He's got a lot of pace, and he can put in a shift defensively as well. He has experience in the left wing back role. So I don't have any problem seeing him coming back and putting in a shift that way, and having this speed and ability to get forward and hopefully find a little bit of a finishing product there. And then up front, I'm going David Larin. I think Kyle Larin is looking for an opportunity to start. You saw what that goal meant to him. He, in a big game like this, it just seems fitting to see David and Larin come in. And then, in the second half, I'd probably look for Promise David as my first substitution there for Kyle Larin. And something we need to do is we need to be able to finish. Despite scoring the amount of goals we have, especially against Qatar.
The numbers are inflated a little
bit. I know,
bit, right?
That's what Qatar,
I mean.
That's what I mean. They're inflated, so it doesn't really paint the full picture, but our finishing has not been that good. And if we get an opportunity, because they're going to be probably few and far between in this match against Morocco, we have to take it. So Jonathan David, the opportunity is there. It's going to have to be one of those moments where he can hit it on both feet and find the back of the net, because that's probably the game plan Jesse Marsch is hoping for. Nick a goal early or at some point, and hope that the defensive line can hold Morocco at bay.
I completely agree, man. Let's see what happens. This is, some people are writing Canada off completely. I think it's going to be closer than people think. We do have some talent. We do have some ballers. We've made some huge strides since that original match in 2022. The game will be competitive. Obviously, Canada are the underdogs. I mean, we're not ashamed to say that. It's clear as day that Canada are the underdogs. But I don't think we can be written off just yet, right? There's been plenty of other upsets that have had a wider, I guess, spread in comparison to Canada versus Morocco here. The Moroccan fans will be loud, but the Canadian fans will also be very, very loud. So let's see what happens. Canada versus Morocco, Saturday, June 4th. I'm really, really hoping quarterfinals. I'm hoping we can keep Morocco at bay. I'm hoping our defense is good. And I'm hoping, like you said, in the few chances that we get, we can put a couple of goals away.
You said July 4th, right? Which is a holiday in the U.S.
Yes, it's Independence Day.
Any chance that Jesse Marsh kisses the Canada badge one more time on
Listen, that would be the biggest W move ever, right? Jesse Marsh kissing the Canada badge on Independence Day after a victory against Morocco, dude. Like,
yep. Just gonna throw it out there.
Josh, man, I want to say thank you for your time. It was so nice to see your face, man. We got to have you a little bit more back on the channel, maybe on a little bit of a regular basis. You know, maybe like once a week or something if you have time. You know, once a week, maybe bi-weekly or something. Right, guys? You guys let me know in the comments. Do you want to see Josh Deming return in a little bit of a cameo role or in a role that he feels comfortable with on One Soccer? Because we absolutely love Josh. He's been covering the Canadian men's national team and Canadian soccer. He's been a huge advocate for a very, very long time. The audience and myself have absolutely nothing but respect for you, a lot of love. And yeah, thank you for joining, dude. Really, really nice to talk to you.
I really appreciate the opportunity to come back on. It's been a lot of fun. And just to everyone out there, I've had a lot of messages on LinkedIn and different social medias. I do see all the love and I really appreciate it. I miss you guys. And I just want to say Canada soccer is in a great place and let's go get Morocco.